Hello, welcome back to the James Rambling Reviews for yet another episode. And in today's episode, I've not done a review in a few weeks, but I'm going to be reviewing Killers of the Flower Moon. But before I dive into my thoughts on the movie, what I thought about it, what I thought didn't work about it, right, I'll just give you a bit of context. So, when it comes to Killers of the Flower Moon, right, this was kind of a movie where I was wanting to see it for a while, right? The movie came out October 20th, so it was almost been a couple months. And I was wanting to see this movie, right? And I just waited it for it to come on streaming. So what do, right? I rent this on YouTube. But before I do that, right, I also have this thing of like Martin Scorsese movies, and he's directing this movie, right? He directed this movie that kills the Flower Moon, right? So I love Taxi Driver, love Goodfellas, love Casino. Mean Streets, I wasn't too big on. And I kind of had this phase where I watched a lot of Martin Scorsese movies, quite a few, and Tarantino got burnt out, so I didn't watch all of his movies, and so that's my context going into this stuff, right? Renting it on YouTube movies and kind of having a bit of a history with Scorsese flicks. So when it comes to this movie, right, I'll give you the plot summary of this movie, or my how I perceive this movie, what the movie is about. So when it comes to that, right, it's pretty much based on this historical event that took place in the 1920s where it's all about the Osage Indians versus the Americans, and the Americans getting oil off of them, taking advantage of them, killing them and stuff like that. You've also got like Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie. You've also got Robert De Niro. You've also got all these kind of other actors in this movie and stuff like that. The movie is also about 3.5 hours long, so it was quite a long film. So let me just dive into how I personally think about this movie. Well, to say the least, right, I thought that Killers of the Flower Moon, right, I did actually enjoy this movie, and I heard this whole commotion online about how, oh, it's too long, oh, it's way, way, way too long. Yes, definitely there are points where the movie could have ended much, much sooner. There was points where there was like subtitles sometimes, and then there wasn't subtitles. Like for example, right, so in this movie they speak Osage Indian, the native language of the people in this movie, right? And then sometimes they don't even show what they're saying, sometimes they do. And the movie does drag on a bit. And there's even this point where Brendan Fraser's in this movie, right? And he just shows up out of nowhere really later on. And I feel like the movie could have been like 2.5 hours maybe. And I definitely thought that in general. I just think though that Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro were very, very good, and it was so compelling. Their acting was so compelling that it was hard to get bored at this movie, because yes, it is a very, very long film, but I thought that acting really, really shined in my opinion. And the lady that plays like one of the Osage Indians called Mollie, her performance was good enough to me. It's just this was my first time seeing her on screen of any other kind of movie she's done. I've not seen any of her other movies up until this point, so it's kind of like, okay, her acting performance was okay at best, but because I know of Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro just absolutely knocks it out of the park when in the other Scorsese films, like his Taxi Driver performance was amazing, and all the other kind of Scorsese flicks that I indeed have seen. And so you definitely get that, right? So would I recommend this movie, right? I have to say that I wouldn't say this movie is the best movie of all time. Definitely not, man. Definitely not. It's not a perfect movie, to say the least. If you are a fan of Scorsese movies, though, I definitely recommend that. If you already liked his movies before this, you should just watch it anyways. And so there was definitely that kind of stuff on with the movie, and there's not tons and tons. I'm not gonna make this review like 3.5 hours long like the film and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed this review of this new review of the James Ramblin' Reviews, where I come at you randomly with a movie that almost came out 2 months ago, but I just thought, why not review this movie, right? It is actually episode 69 of the review show, but you know, it's like, I didn't really see the point in making tons of 69 jokes. I've already got a James Ramblin' Show episode where I do 69 jokes for episode 69 James Ramblin' Show, so it would just kind of feel repetitive if I made 69 jokes about quite a serious movie like this, and it would just be kind of weird. So, yeah, I'll see you for another review on the James Ramblin' Reviews. Hope you enjoyed this review. I don't know if this review is going to get tons of views because I am like 2 months late to the party with this film. So, bye. Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese, stuff like that. Bye, bye, bye.